Do you have your publicist, or who sets up when you come to LA?
Well, that was publicist that, but I just had I would never have a publicist deal with you on this. The only reason I did is because they have the schedule.
Yeah.
And so then they know what the schedule is. And then also, like, Netflix gave me a car, like a driver.
What?
So I was like, well, then put it in there. Because it's in the system, and I got the car today. So
Is it a nice car?
Yeah, it's just a driver. Like, it's a...
Oh, so not even a car, just a guy
driving
who would drive a car. Oh, okay. No, there is a guy with a car.
There's a guy with a car. It's like... it's just like a chauffeur, like driving you around. He just sits around, and I go out there. Then he drives me to the next thing. It's the greatest thing I've ever been a part of.
Now that you've had that, do you kind of want that back home in Nashville?
Oh man, that's what I was like, I just want to make enough money to have a guy drive me around. Like,
isn't that the dream? It's like the first class of the
Well, you always see it on those reality shows, like with I watch all the realty, like selling houses, and they always have like cars.
Yeah,
like they have people drive them to this stuff, and it's a lot in New York. I mean, it'd be more. I like driving. But like out here, like that's like unreal. But it's so expensive.
It is. I do appreciate though, by the way, that if you had responded back with, if your first response when I was like, "Yo, if you're in town, like we want to do the podcast," if you said "see publicist." As your response, I would have been like, you know what, just see yourself out of this conversation.
Yeah. Nate's changed.
I'll do it next time for sure, though. I want to have like a layer of people you have to go through. And some that are not even involved in my career.
It's like, why are we talking to his Uncle Terrence?
Yeah. And I'm like, well, did he say I could do it?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Did Uncle T give the approval?
Yeah. I would, no, it would never. You can always text me and I'll just
you're
do
great.
the show. But the only reason I did it, you need to get in the books, so Netflix.
Yeah.
Keeps
well, you're that busy
rolling.
now. First of all, your third special?
It's technically at an hour on Comedy Central, half hour Netflix, and then hour of the year. And I did the presents too. So, but yes, like third, that's probably the real
3.5 specials.
3.5 specials. Two the halves that count.
Right.
I'm piecing together specials. I'm like, well, you throw in some other
like,
stuff.
Did some other stuff on Fallon. Like, if you piece that all together, that's probably one special.
I think we could scrape together a special.
Sure.
Lower for material.
It's
The Tennessee Kid, streaming now on Netflix. I gotta say.
Well done, sir.
Oh,
well done, sir.
You know, I feel like it's almost. Do you take offense if people say this is your best work? Do you go, well, what about the other stuff?
No, it is. I mean, it's the most excited. I still like my Comedy Central hour.
I'm glad you said that.
And
me too.
I wish it. There is definitely like when I get done with that one, I was like, I'll never come up with anything good.
Wow.
Like, you know, but that's what you do that with every joke.
Yes.
You come up with a new joke, and you're like, I'm probably the least funniest. Like, it's hard to come up with a new joke.
Yeah, and then once you just you've gotten a joke to that point where it's it's going to do well every time, and now to just get rid of it and be like, no, you have to do that again now.
Yeah.
Like, it's a daunting task.
Dude, right now, like, coming up with new material for this. Like, so I was very happy with this hour. I was very, like, when I was on the road and I toured with it for about a year and a half, and I knew, like, all right, it's hitting. You know, when you're on the road and you can tell, like, this stuff's, like, really hitting.
Yeah.
Like, so it's going to be good. You do get nervous, like, how's it going to translate? But I did know it was good. And then, so, yes, now coming in with a new hour, now you're having people, like, legit know you, they know your stuff, and they're there for this reason. And so, like, coming up with this next hour is, like, very daunting. Like,
and, pressure.
That, and I mean, you saw this special had like the last special you had on Netflix was the half hour, which was the stand-ups.
Yeah.
And that was you were part of a lot of different comics on one bill. Now this was just you, and tons of comics were tweeting about it. It was all up on
that feels good, right?
Billboards.
That's the greatest. I still never saw that billboard. Someone took a picture and sent it to me, but they, the comics tweeting it, like, that's always like a huge thing, and like the different types of comics too that were doing it was very nice. Were guys that would be obviously in our circle, like us, that are just like idiot road comics. We're all dumb on the road. Like, but then you have like other, you know, it's very nice. You
span the gamut. You got like open mic to Brian Regan.
Yeah, he did not do it.
Oh,
he hates my comic. No, I've never.
Shout out to you, Brian Regan. And challenge is thrown down.
Yeah. I would love it.
Can you tweet a compliment?
For some reason he hates me, dude. I just have no idea why.
Did you have people coming out of the woodwork that hadn't seen you yet, or because that's what's great about this profession? I feel like there's still people that go to comedy clubs. They're like, this is my first show. Or people that are discovering people like yourself, right, for the first time, right?
I mean, it's going to be a mass amount of people because it's like even whatever, like you can tell like when you go on the road, the tickets you sell is you can do clubs and then you're still like you have some nights that are sold out, some nights are not. And then so now it's like we have like a fall tour they're announcing like some of those shows are selling out and they're the biggest places I've ever played. And we're adding shows to a couple of them.
This is the Good Problem to Have tour. It starts in September.
So yeah, and so they're like a lot of that. Like so, yeah, it's definitely a lot of people that are coming that are new, and you can tell. And people message you like, "I've never heard of you, but then I watched this," and so there's definitely a lot of
I tell people that like the biggest difference is when you're doing shows is like when the people in the audience now to see you. And not just the people that are like, well, it's Thursday.
Yeah.
Let's go to a club. Let's see if this fucker's funny.
Yeah.
Like, when you actually have the people that are like, oh, my God, we're seeing Nate Bargatze.
Yeah. You have a lot less problems to deal with in a crowd. Like, you don't have the heckling gets cut down immediately just because they're there for a reason versus just being drunk. And, like, I was having a mix of that. I did a show in Tampa last year at the Improv. And you could feel a mix where I would have, there's a lot of people up front that are there for me, but then there's still a good group that are in the back that just wandered in.
Yeah.
And then
that room is so deep, right?
Yeah, a fight broke out during that show. A guy punched another guy.
A good fight where you stopped and watched?
Straight up, he punched him.
Okay.
And it was in the, that it's on the layers, like the balcony. Yeah. So it was in the very back. So then the people on the top, they can't see. It's enough that you have to talk. Like, I mean, the guy punched him.
Yeah. Did you hear the punch?
I saw it.
Oh, shit.
I just saw like someone spilled a drink, and then it just was like boom, and then they just swung and punched.
It's kind of exciting, right?
And I'm like in the middle, not even at least towards the end. Like,
so you can't.
So much
more. You can't even wrap it up. Be like, all right, well, that's how we end that show. Bye.
Good night. Yeah, it's like that's enough. We did enough. It's like I still need to do so much more time. And then you just kind of have to talk about it and. There's nothing that can really prepare. Your preparation for dealing with that is just being in a room, like being around like awful things. Yeah. And then you can just, I don't even know what I said. I don't even, like.
It's just push and pull of like, you have to address it.
Yep.
But you don't want to give it too much attention. You're hoping that you can, but you have to also assume that everyone is wanting to see the completion of this fight before they turn their attention back to you.
Yeah.
Unless you are just like, like that's gonna be, what I'm talking about is actually more interesting than that fight.
Yeah.
You hope so.
The other one, it was at Parlor Live.
Yeah,
Seattle.
Fire.
Nothing good ever happens in Seattle. We all know that.
Well, okay. There's a lot of great comics that have come from there.
I can't think of it.
Name them. Name one. Name one.
Kermit Apio. Unjumble those letters. It's Adam Ray.
Weirdly, before I was at Stardome in Birmingham, which is another one that's like
I'm doing it coming up.
The dude owns great. Like it's a good club, Bruce. But it can also have moments. And Fire Alarm went off during that show the week before, and it was great. No one left. They didn't like it. Just was on for just some of the show. Like, and then I go to Parlor Live next week, goes off again. So I'm back-to-back weeks, and then Parlor Live they make everybody leave. And it was just so funny to see the week before, like, nobody left. And then Parlor Live, like, we all have to leave.
Well, because Parlor Live is in, like, this big
mall
where they probably have a
movie theater.
Yeah, they probably have, like, a corporate
There's
thing
a fire
where
code.
It's like, we have to do this. Whereas,
So in
Stardome,
Alabama, they're like, if you want to die, that's on you. If you want to burn to death,
fine.
that's your story.
Yeah.
In Bellevue, Washington, they're like, nah, dude.
No, we got it. And I met, I had to walk down with the audience, and I met one of your friends. I have no idea who they were, but they told me that they were friends with you.
Well, there you go.
That
one person in Seattle says hi.
Says hi. They said, oh, I know Adam Ray.
Well, I know my brother went to your show.
He goes, Adam still doing it? That's what I asked him. I goes, is he still bouncing around? Like, you ask an old comic if he's still, still bouncing around, man, still just hitting the road.
Doing a lot of cruise ships.
Yeah, you hope it like you're doing enough cool shit that you don't get somebody like
that doesn't know that you're doing.
Because I remember the last time I truly got asked that was a kid from college who was in my fraternity at USC. That this was about like 6 years in. So like just starting some like good feature work with Bobby Lee, but nothing like of note to post about.
Sure.
And he was like, still doing comedy? And I was like, yeah. And then I just, but I also was still working at Universal Studios. So I was like, he's like, because I saw some picture of you as Wolverine. And I was like, well, yeah, that's what's getting posted because that's like
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what pays the bills.
But no, I'm trying, man. He's like, oh, cool. How long are you going to try that for? I actually got to get out of here because this conversation is bringing down all the self-esteem I had for today.
Yeah.
I have a certain amount.
Now, I would think that like when there's the fight in the crowd, like if you're Bill Burr, who's like an angry yelling comedian, that kind of makes sense. Where you could be like, "Hey, sit the fuck down," or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you're dry and kind of slower, and that's your delivery. So like, do you have to like stay in the quote unquote Nate Bargatze character?
Yeah.
Can you Bargatze it up?
Yeah.
No. It stays like this. It's very calm. It's like that's why I've never really had a ton of. You get heckling like because people are drunk, but I always like you have to listen.
Yeah.
So like I make sure that like, I've learned that was a New York thing I learned. Like I had to learn because you have to follow so many different energies on stage.
Right.
So it was a matter of how quick can I get this audience into my rhythm, and so then you learn to like get them into your rhythm as the quickest way possible that I don't have to waste like 5 minutes of my act before they like, oh, I get it.
Right.
And so you're just trying to slowly figure that out. So I just always like I just stay in this rhythm and you just talk and like, you just make like comments about the fight or whatever, but you just stick with you never want to try to, I've tried to go out of my energy and it doesn't work.
How about in real life?
In real life, no, it stays, it's like this. I mean, I can have very strong feelings about stuff and be emotional, but like.
So when Vanderbilt loses, are you just like, well, shit. That's
yeah,
horrible.
Like, oh, what are you gonna do? I just am the most mad I've ever been in my life. Like it's just boiling on the inside. Like,
it's actually kind of strange when you put out your fandom of a certain team because then whenever that team does anything good or bad, you will hear about it from your fans. When Vanderbilt loses,
they tell me.
Yeah, you're like, hey, so that must have sucked for you.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, there's a lot of fans of other teams of schools that I don't, but I like don't like. I try not to like do anything too openly like about Vandy, like tweeting stuff or like I've never like tweeted like whatever thoughts I could really have if they had a coach there I didn't like or they had like something I didn't like that they did. I try to like not do that because now you meet them. That's the hard part too. You start meeting these people.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and then you're like, I know our football coach is like, I know, hey, he's awesome. And so then you're like, but you're like, it hurts you. I have no problem with our football coach, but if I ever did, it would be like, I know the dude. Like, you can't just be like, bro, you got to go, man. Yeah. Like, I love Vandy more than I know you.
Yeah.
So
I know you got a wife and kids, but I don't know
if
like, do they really need to keep eating?
Yeah, yeah. Who cares? You've made enough, dude. Like, just.
Was there an initial, like, holy shit, I'm kind of famous now moment where they're like
like something happened?
Yeah, like another celebrity hits you up or you get
I've had some
free shit.
Ariel Winter from Modern Family watched my special and like showed it. Like I met Eric Stonestreet, who's also on Modern Family. Came to my show at Kansas City Improv.
Whoa. There you go.
And I didn't see him afterwards. And but we talked after. And he either messaged me or something. I didn't know he was there.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it was like nobody was there. Like it was just like it was like a very weird thing. So yeah, you do have some like stuff happen. I mean, getting recognized a little. It's more than it was.
Is it strange when someone comes up and like they'll say something to you about your own personal life, like, "Hey Nate, how's your kid?" And you're like, "Do I know you?
Who are you?"
Yeah, like, why are you asking that?
I tell him.
And is Adam still doing comedy?
Yeah. What's he doing? Is he bouncing around? I had to talk with my daughter about that. Like, my daughter asked me recently. Like, she was like,
"How does she know?"
She said, "She's 6."
Yeah,
and she was like, "Are you famous?" And then when you have that, you're like, "No." Like, you're like, "Well, I mean, I could say I am, but like,
I don't know. I got a driver in L.A.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What do you think?" I take it as judgmental. Like, you know who I am, don't you? Yeah.
Look at this house. It's big, right?
Yeah.
Toys. Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Where
do those toys come
we're in
from?
a room that's pointless right now in a house. There's no reason for this room.
We're in a reasonless room.
That's when you know you got money.
Yeah.
When you have rooms in your house, you're like, I don't do anything.
Yeah.
I never even. Yeah. I barely spent
I
time.
forgot this room was here until just now.
Yeah.
Why are we even in this room?
But like, she asked because a show she watched, like some cartoon she watches where a girl on the show is famous and has fans. So she was like, well, people like you. I was like, what made, like trying to be like, why are you saying that? Because I don't know if she gets what, she introduces me on my special. She gets the idea of it, but
adorable.
like not really gets it. Like, I don't know, to her, that's all she's ever known. Like, is I've done late night, I've been on TV or something since she was alive. So she saw it from some show and like that person has fans. So then she's like, well, you have people that come up and say they like your show. But then we had to like, also I had to like talk to her to be like, yeah, you have to realize that like sometimes you could talk to someone that you could think knows us. Because they could know a lot about us, but they don't. We don't know everybody.
Whoa.
Like, it's a weird, like, I don't know if that's ever a thing, but you have to tell.
Yeah.
She could be like, well, that person knows my dad's entire name and, like, when I was born.
That can mean he's a good friend.
Yeah.
And he knew his Starbucks order.
Knows, very personal things, like his Starbucks. I realize my daughter's never listened to my act. Like, she's not putting this together. I'm like, maybe if you watch my comedy, you would get...
But yeah, it's not like she's not going to know, that there's things like Wikipedia and the internet to really get to know someone's back.
To really see that stuff. And so it's just trying to make her like aware. But I mean, like, I'm not like, there's not a problem. I can go we're famous. We've all had it. Like, you guys have had it too. Like, you've been in movies. But like where people are going to come up and see you. I do it as a joke now, opening, where I say like when people like come up now will be excited and take a picture, but like I say like when they leave, I wish they knew that I had to explain who I am to like 10 people, like because people just see it and they're like, they're furious, like they're like, why did they do it? Because they have no idea,
right? And they see this one person.
That's
so
they
happy.
Can't believe they're meeting you.
Yeah, and they're like, I can't. Oh God, neighbor Bargatze. And then you're surrounded by people like, who the fuck is this guy?
I think a couple pictures you take after are pictures of people that don't know who you are, but they're just like, might as well do.
Might as well do
this.
I'll
figure this guy out later.
Throw it up on the internet. Be like, this guy famous?
Yeah,
and then just like see what my friends say.
See if they say anything.
Yeah.
Like,
I bet that guy's got a room that doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's doing real good.
The worst is when you have someone that just comes up and goes, where do I know you from? And you're like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go down my IMDb page right now.
And you're not going to know me from any of the things that I say. Like, that's like, you're going to say a bunch of things like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're going to say Fallon, Netflix, or like, no. And they're like, Pandora.
Yeah.
That's what. You're like, fuck, okay.
Pandora is enormous, by the way, too.
Yeah.
How much do you get that?
A lot.
How much? That outside of Netflix, that was the most serious. Pandora, Spotify was the reason everybody's come. Like,
I'm about to drop an album on Sirius and Spotify. I mean, everywhere, but like
crazy.
I'm really, and I haven't done that yet with those platforms. So I'm hoping I just
you're playing all day long,
got
dude.
all the candies after that.
Just really
8 bowls
together. You're like, a
true sign of
seats
wealth.
get a little more. Your late Fridays, like, it's not bad. That's what they tell you. It's not bad. No, there's people out there.
What about on the Joker's cruises? Do you get?
Those people are like into them. Like they're you have people that know you because I've just been around those guys.
Yeah,
but they're into them. Going out with them with the Impractical Jokers.
Did you do some dates?
I've done. I don't think I've done any dates. I've done that cruise.
Yeah.
God, maybe I did one. I don't remember. I don't think I've done any dates with them.
Their fans are
I've
crazy.
been around.
You've been to those shows.
I've been around them enough. Like, and me and Sal are like very good friends.
Yeah.
Like, so, and like when you're with them, but like when you go out with them, you're out with Brad Pitt. Like people are losing their mind.
Yeah.
And everybody knows them. I mean, they're on TV
constantly,
24
all the
hours
time.
a day.
It's like
I don't know who else
just
is on.
rename True TV.
Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, that's what they're
all it
playing.
is.
Then it's like, all right, well then we play a half hour of a guy doing magic, but then we're back to the Jokers.
Yeah. And like, let's get back to that. Yeah.
and that's no disrespect to that. I'm forgetting the magician that has a show on there.
Yeah,
but,
I should know him too.
but yeah,
I know. Yeah.
It's all Jokers.
It's all Jokers, and that show does good.
Yes.
That magician show's like good.
Yeah.
Like, but they just have it. It's something that you can play all day long. Yeah. And their fans are just
other than Kardashians and infomercials, what is on as much as Impractical Jokers?
Nothing. It's that, and
Sports?
and they put it on everywhere. Like you get your oil changed. They just have it on that.
Yeah.
It's a go-to.
It's a go. Yeah, those guys get mobbed. I mean, Sal cannot go.
Yeah.
We did a tour with me, him, Bert Kreischer, and
Yeah, I
Kyle
saw
Kinane.
that. That looked like the most fun.
And
Jesus.
it was great. And they were, but we were going through I mean, it's a mix of like you got Bert, who was everybody. Bert getting recognized a ton too, though.
Yeah,
he has a lot.
And now
of
people are recognizing him with his shirt on.
Yes.
And that's how you know
That's a whole extra layer.
he's doing it.
Yeah, he's really making some real money now.
He's got the shirts and skins fans.
Yeah. He doesn't. What about this? He takes his shirt off. Then how do I know you? He takes his shirt off. You're like, I definitely know.
Yeah, there's that nipple.
Yeah. By the way, there's that nipple. That should have been an 80s sitcom.
Well, that was going to be on True TV, but there wasn't enough room. What we're going to do with all those Jokers reruns?
We got the Jokers. Then we got the Jokers.
Yeah.
Some magician, and then do we have room for There's My Nipple? No.
There's that nipple. So you already just talked yourself out of an EP cred.
It's not an important show to me. I'm too busy watching Jokers. What are you talking about?
Fair enough.
But like you and Bert, because I've heard like Dan Soder told me some legendary stories about you and drinking.
Yeah.
So like you and Bert on a tour together.
It was a lot. The first time me and Bert met was at Skankfest. Like in the first year they did. There's the Legion of Skanks.
Yeah,
That's a comedy festival, people.
And they
For those of you like Skankfest.
like,
Holy
Skankfest,
shit, you guys
like,
party.
"Geez." You're like, what was that about? You're like, we went as fans. We were not. But we hung out there and like it was in New York and there was like a problem. Like it was like where like both our wives were like furious. Just like so mad. And then so it was a lot. And then we did that tour and we did this thing and it was kind of the same. It was like, Bert's the real deal, man. Like it's that dude. I was expecting to like when you get around him to be like, oh yeah, I don't drink that much. Like it's just like a thing. But it's as much as you think.
Yeah.
And he's awake all the time. And
He's a professional drinker.
Yeah.
As far as like,
He's gone pro.
well, I mean,
he's another planet. Yeah,
They will
Hall
hang,
of Fame.
They will hang his liver in the rafters one day.
Yeah. We'll have it up.
Just like he's stringing it up. Like I'm not dead yet. I'm pretty sure you should leave this in my body.
I'm gonna need that in at least 2 hours.
Yeah.
How am I gonna party tonight? Celebrate my liver. But he like knows the balance of like, I mean, tolerance and like just getting to know. Like when you first start drinking, you're like, all right, how much can I do and what can I mix? It's like, dude, he's got that nailed to where he's not gonna ever put himself in a place where he's not gonna miss out on fun. I feel like.
Yeah, he's consistent with what he drinks, and like I just don't get how like he doesn't feel like I've stopped drinking because it was like I
Completely.
turned 40. Yeah, because I'm 40 and it's just I'm miserable. Like the next day is just not.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna have one beer and the next day you can feel it. And you're like, that's insanity, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't be able to feel this. Like,
Yeah.
it's just too, like, it's all like, Soder doesn't drink anymore now. Like, we didn't drink on the Joker Cruise, and that was like a very hard place to drink.
Because that's unlimited alcohol, and you don't have to worry about,
free-for-all.
How am I going to get back to my room? Someone's going to take you.
Yeah, someone will get you there.
It's noticeable, man. You look like you've shed weight from it.
Oh yeah, I mean, you
feel better.
It's night and day.
Did you know this was going to happen? Like, is there a stage in your life when you're like, all right, I got a couple more years of this, or did you set out and go 40s when I'm cutting it off, or does your body and time just go?
I know one guy that cut off and he said he turned 40, and that always kind of stuck in my head. And then it was just like you're getting busier. You realize like you're like, I'm not gonna be able to enjoy the things. Like I don't like even like coming here and like the day I've had with like the press and like doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I would have been miserable and probably canceled something. Just been like, I can't make it, dude, or whatever. Like not be a problem, but you just end up like randomly just get rid of a couple things. You're not as fun. You're not as like excited to do it. Not
You
happy
probably
to
wouldn't
do
have
it.
gotten to talk to Larry King.
I didn't actually. He got sick.
What?
I was supposed to. I know.
What?
Yeah.
You'll come back out for that.
And I said I'll fly just for that.
Good.
Like, I'd come out,
Love
like,
that you said that.
And they, because they were like, "You want a guest host?" And you're like, "What are you, insane?"
No,
like, you're like, the point is him.
Yeah.
Like that's the point.
I don't want to.
Yeah, just whoever, dude. I don't even know who this Larry King was. So just whoever.
Hey, Mickey Mouse isn't here. You want to meet the Rescue Rangers?
Yeah.
No.
I'm here for the mouse.
I'm here for the. I want the show, dude.
Yeah.
So
you'll fly back for that.
I'll come back. I said I'll come back just for that.
Good
I'll
move.
fly in.
That's
for one
legendary,
day, like,
dude.
Yeah, that's a big like. You want to just talk to him, dude. Like,
Yes.
and he's getting older, so they were like, he gets sick, and it's with how old he is. It happens. Where he,
and you just want to hear him be like Nate Bargatze.
Yeah,
like just that.
Yeah,
You're like, okay, I
like,
can fly home now.
yeah.
Just
Can I use that as my intro? For,
Yeah,
like,
Tennessee Kid.
Tennessee Kid.
I mean, Jesus.
On Netflix.
Yeah, and just and then
Why
you're
are you the Tennessee?
Why are
Kid?
you famous?
Yeah,
We got a question. Looks like it's from your daughter. Why are you famous?
we got a caller on the line.
Daddy?
Dad, why are you famous?
Yeah, we got a 6-year-old from Nashville, Tennessee, on the line. Go ahead.
Nashville. Hello.
Hello, Nashville.
Oh man.
Apparently your daughter.
I met him at the movie theater in the Grove once, and he was I was real baked. This is about a year into being out of college,
Yeah.
and I went up to him and I was like, I go, Larry, just way too much energy. Like, what are you? He's not your frat bro. What are you talking to him like that for? And he's at the little automated snack machine, and he looks up and he goes, and I go, oh man, I go, movies are the best, huh? And he was just like, what? And I was like, so what are you guys seeing? And he just looks up and he goes, I'm with my nephew. Do you mind? And I go, not at all. I just got interviewed by Larry King.
Yeah.
To which he did another long glare. And then I go, all right. And then turned around and walked away.
I'm on board. I'm on Larry King's side, by the way. The
Yeah.
entire story.
Yeah. I hate myself for even having that story.
That's what you ask something, and clearly he wants you to go, and you like
I doubled down.
Your story kept going. Like I'm like, he's got to walk away at some point, and you just keep running.
He was the
pocket.
second celebrity I saw in L.A. Leo was before that.
Oh, wow.
Hat down at the Grove, bumped into him. He looked up, and he's just enough with his hat to go like, I'm sorry. And then as he looked up and seeing it so quickly, I saw his face and I went, Leo! And they just turned and kept walking.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
even faster because he's like, oh, great. Now I'm getting recognized, the whole thing I didn't want to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Larry.
Man, that's 2 pretty big ones.
Yeah. Third
Yeah.
one, Diane Keaton. Almost hit her
Oh,
with my
wow.
car. Was on my way to Universal Studios
Oh my God.
to strap up into the Wolverine suit,
Yeah.
and it was one of those crosswalks in Beverly Hills where there's no light, right?
Yeah.
So you just gotta like the honor system. Slow down when you see a person coming, right?
Yeah.
Give them the right of way.
We hope.
I'm looking down.
the idea.
I'm looking down. So going through the crosswalk, all of a sudden look up, a good 10 to 12 feet before the crosswalk, before I hit Diane Keaton.
Yeah.
So she looks up in a giant hat. Didn't know who it was until she looks up in the hat and goes, and I was like, holy shit! Thank God, no! You know, life flashing before my eyes. And then she just goes, and I go, I'm sorry. I go, stick my head over and I go, I'm so sorry. And she goes, it's fine. Glad it didn't happen. And I'm like, hey, no, Diane Keaton. And she just goes, I'm okay. And then I'm literally driving to work being like, and that would have been my story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Headline, fake Wolverine kills Hollywood icon.
Yeah.
Now,
There's no way I'm sitting here right
The
now.
picture that they're just like us. It's in, like Us Weekly. Like
They get hit by cars.
They get hit by
They
cars.
get hit by
just like
theme park
us.
characters.
Yeah.
It's like,
Just like us.
now, if you kill Diane Keaton, does that ruin Woody Allen movies for you?
Is that like that would be?
Or does the Woody Allen stuff
no,
ruin?
because
ruin
I'm
ruin
able to
Woody Allen
shift and go.
movies
They're
for you?
Diane Keaton movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Who was your first celeb sighting in L.A. or in general?
In general, one of the first, like when I was in, when I started in Chicago, I moved to Chicago first. One of the first ones I ever saw that random was I saw Johnny Cash filming a music video in Nashville.
No way.
And like Mount Juliet, which
That's like
he was on the back of a train. And
that's God right there.
yeah,
That's insane.
I was driving to my buddy's house, and it was the first like random like because we were in like it's like a neighborhood of like this Mount Juliet. Like there's no reason for someone to be right there.
Right.
And he was standing on the back of a train, and I guess they were filming some kind of something.
What if he wasn't?
Yeah, there's still part of me that thinks it could not be him. It was in a long black jacket. Like, it was everything that makes me think it's him.
Yeah.
And I just go with it's him. But there is a little that I'm like, it could be just a dude.
He
that,
saw there was a
like,
guy walking by. He's like, let me get
a
this
rich
guy, Johnny
guy,
Cash
yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
some rich guy that just has the money to stop a train and like wants to do a photo shoot. It's like his senior year pictures, his son's senior year pictures, and he has him go out.
What a great call. I definitely took some weird senior pictures near a train track.
Sure. It is funny that when you're like
I think they were pictures.
When you're like a country artist, you have to spend a lot of money to make it look like you still don't have money.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Johnny Cash is rich as fuck.
Crazy.
And he's like, no, I'm gonna be on the back of a train like I'm a wanderer going through this land of ours.
Yeah.
And you're like, or you're.
I've
rich
seen
as
Us
fuck.
Weekly. I want the people to think the stars are just like them.
yeah.
Well, Johnny, nobody does that though. So
Nobody does that.
yeah,
They have a lot of sightings in Nashville. They have like Nicole Kidman and
Yeah.
Taylor
Devine,
Lautner,
like,
or what's her husband's name?
Taylor Lautner.
Oh, who's her husband?
Keith Urban.
Keith
Yeah.
Urban.
Yeah.
I knew it was a cool name.
Yeah. It's like,
I knew that.
Yeah.
Isn't he like 18 or something?
I don't
I
know.
don't
I don't
even
know,
know
dude.
that
I don't know. You're the
yeah.
one who's Googling Taylor Lautner age.
Hey,
How old is he?
Listen, I know a few things about Taylor Lautner.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess. If there was money on the table,
All right.
the over under on Lautner.
Name that Lautner.
I'm not even really sure who it is, but he has to
No,
be
age
young.
is that Lautner.
What age is that Lautner?
I bet he's younger than you think, or older than you think. I bet he's 20.
Okay.
And I think you think he's.
You think he's like 26?
Oh, I like that number too.
I think
I'll go with 20 because I was in 20.
Yeah.
All right, he's going with 20. Adam, what are you going
Well,
with?
you said 18, so we're taking that off the table.
Yeah.
Not
By the
only,
way, I
not
don't
only
know who
sexually
this
for you
is.
and for what's that?
I don't know who this is, so I'm going on an age of like this is like a made up person to me. Like,
Daddy,
you're
why
good.
is Taylor Lautner
Yeah,
famous?
yeah. Is he the from the
Take a guess.
vampire movies? Or
Got
the,
it. You
Yes,
got
he
it.
Oh,
is.
so that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Oh, he could be older than 20.
I think he's 20. I said
He's like
26. I'm going with
That's a good
26.
one. I'll go.
All right.
Can I change it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can $1 me if you want.
Now that
You can
I'll
price
say
is right.
28.
28. Well, ladies
more
and
than you
gentlemen, it is a tie because Taylor Lautner is 27.
Oh, look how excited we both got.
That's we're so excited.
Yeah.
Like Jolly Ranchers were about to rain from the sky
Yeah.
because you were 1 year off.
Yeah.
Or if we had gotten it the right age, he would have showed up because that's how it works.
That's
he,
how
he
it
walks
works.
When
in.
three
I'm
grown
27,
men
guys.
try to guess Taylor
He's
Lautner.
outside. He's like, you can't go in. They didn't get it. He's like, all right.
Come on, they
He
seem like
just
good
leaves.
guys.
Yeah.
Taylor, you know the rules of this game.
Only if they get it.
Get back in the car.
What do I do with these confetti cannons? Well,
Yeah.
you can't use them today.
Can't use them.
Oh.
God.
Damn it.
All right.
Take me to Boa.
What? You're a big golf. You're a big golf guy.
I am.
What's your dream?
Nice segue.
Yeah.
What's your dream golf foursome?
Speaking of golf,
Speaking of celebrities,
Taylor. Yeah.
what's your dream? Well, like let's just say threesome because obviously Taylor Lautner would be part of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who you could golf with? Oh, I mean, it would be. You know, it's for you. I would have Tiger in there, but I don't think Tiger would be super fun to be with. I think you would have Tiger in
think
there
so.
because Tiger's who he is.
You want to golf with the
And
best,
Jordan,
right?
You want to golf with the best. I think Tiger would not be fun. I don't think you would get a lot out of him. I think I would make more jokes and probably I could probably make Tiger laugh more.
Yeah.
And that would be what I'm going for. If it's straight, is it straight golfers or like? I mean, because you would
Anybody.
like Tiger, Jordan, like
Okay.
those guys, but you gotta have someone that's fun.
Yeah.
And like Charles Barkley would be like
I
you
think
need
would be
someone
awesome.
that's like just gonna like be able to break
Hey man,
the
you're
energy.
a Tennessee kid. I'm
Oh,
from.
man,
I'm
you
from,
know who I am?
No, I watch it. I watch it on Netflix, man.
Oh,
Man,
thank
you
you.
a crazy guy on Netflix, man. You a knucklehead.
Thank you. Oh, this is unbelievable. Are you gonna ride in the same cart or we?
No, I get my own card.
Oh, all
yeah,
right,
you got to pack on a few more pounds. You could balance out the cart there, Taylor. Wait, are you not Taylor Lautner?
I am. 40 years old. He doesn't know. You know, all white people look the same. So yeah, I am.
I feel like Tiger would have bad stories too. I feel like it's going to be tough to break bread with him, and like you're like, oh man, like talking about some gig or some show, and he's like, Tiger, what's the craziest thing you've done, man? Like you get on that topic of just like, let's share crazy stories. Like, one time I cheated my wife and she broke my car and came at me while she was on pills. Oh wait, I was on pills. Anyway, who's up? What is this?
And then Howard Stern had them on as guests.
How great was that?
I've listened to it a few times.
I was driving with Mo
It's-
Mandel
yeah.
to some casino in somewhere in Northern California.
Yeah.
And we were listening to those interviews and we were like, this is the greatest drive of all time. Because that shit was unimaginable. That he went through and was like, wasn't it a contest to see who
Yeah, just
has
like
the best-
who does deserve more? Just the best story.
one of the girls was like, he flew me Southwest Airlines. I remember like
Yeah.
that Howard couldn't believe it. He's like, you got to be kidding me. This
Yeah.
guy. So was it even business select?
yeah, nothing. Just sit him in the back.
Yeah.
Never. One girl wanted money from him, like to pay for stuff. And,
Yeah.
I mean, to have like that high profile of a person, have that go down, and then you straight up get all the information about it.
Right.
Like just all you get told everything.
Yeah.
That's like it's unreal.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
He did you want him to have a comeback in golf?
Oh,
Tiger?
I still do now.
Yeah, me too.
He's playing the Masters of this week, and then.
Are you pumped for that?
Oh, dude.
Is that your favorite?
It's
other
my
than
favorite
Vandy
golf.
football?
I love golf a lot. So
It's
I
like the
can
Super
watch
Bowl
it.
for golf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is it.
Well, it's an event like what is
No
the
other.
Yeah.
Jim Nance. Hello, friends.
I was about to say, like, it's the event that everyone's. I try to think of what my mom says when she shares a event of mine on Facebook or a show. She goes, "It's the show everyone's been waiting for." And this is like a Tuesday night at the you know.
She's not going. Like, you know, are you going to be there? Nah, I can't get there.
It's too far.
Like, it is the show that we've all waited for as a family.
As a family, this Tuesday we've been counting down Tuesdays.
Yeah. Finally got a Tuesday. He never performs on Tuesday.
What do you love about golf? Because it's the one sport that I'm envious when I see like you and Santino and Jay Larson and
there's a nice comedian golf.
Yeah, there's a nice Nick Thune, right?
Yeah,
enjoys the golf.
Rory.
That I'm like, you guys look good. You look like you're having a great time, right? Probably.
Yeah, it's a lot like I think it's a lot like comedy. It's like confidence is a huge part of it. Like, so comedy is like, you know, if you have a joke and you tell a new joke and you don't believe in that joke, it will never work.
Right.
You can start it, and if you don't sell it to the audience, it's not going to work. And there's no reason they can even tell that. But like golf is like that too a lot. Like when you take a shot, you have to picture the shot that you want to hit. And if you do that, you have a much higher percentage chance. And I mean, it's just picturing the shot. Like it's a very weird thing to be like, I can just picture this shot and it's going to happen. And you have to like visualize it, and like you're out there by yourself, you're competing with yourself. It's just I love the aspect of, I don't know. It's like just, I mean, it is crazy to be. I mean, Robin Williams had that joke about what golf, but it's like you're hitting this ball. It's 400 yards into a hole. And it's like, how many times is it going to take you to do it? And it, you know, I mean, when you just first hear it, you're like, it could take you 40 times.
Right.
And then guys are doing it in 3. Yeah. And like that's like, it's unbelievable. And like watching the pros are just, they're on another planet, man. Like those guys there's, you know, JJ Watt tweeted out like, because he golfs and, you know, he's this big 280-pound muscle. And he's like, he can hit the ball 4 yards.
How much do we think he weighs? Let's actually play this game. You know, we did how old is Taylor Lautner? How much is JJ Watt weigh?
Okay.
Keep going.
So he's
a big guy golfing.
He's a big, but then they have a guy that weighs 150 pounds and hits it 400 yards.
That doesn't make
like
any sense.
It doesn't, like that's the part that's like crazy. And like how
Michelle Wee has a good drive, doesn't she?
Yeah,
the female golfer.
Dude, they're another planet.
That's my favorite part about playing golf is when I walk on the tee, everyone's like, "Oh shit, this is gonna be hilarious," and then I can hit the ball like 280, 290.
Oh, that's crazy.
And people are just like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. Like, and they trip out, and then they look at their son that can outdrive me as a huge disappointment.
Yeah, and there's like, he goes,
I wish I had a dwarf child.
Yeah,
like that's what they're saying.
That's
So you love the challenge of it too, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to get, like, when you go out to play, are you like, is having a good time obviously at the forefront, but are you also like, well, I hope I actually, like, do you ever, if you were joking around? I
drank a ton. I never really drank when I played. Like, I enjoyed and I started playing with a guy, a friend of mine, like, and we play a lot, and we've like started like betting a little bit, just trying to like make us stay focused, because it's very easy when you play by yourself to be like, I'm gonna just hit another ball, like, and not really take it seriously.
Yeah.
And it's about like stepping it up and putting yourself under pressure to like then, you know, like, so you shoot good.
Do you get mulligans in the pros, or is that only with me in high school?
That's you. That's you.
You
In high
shouldn't
school.
have probably in even high school.
That's me doing the short nine.
Yeah, like you're. Yeah. It's you do it like.
So screaming from the top of your lungs, today's mulligan day. It's not something they do.
No.
Okay.
No.
You don't get that.
No, they do. When you play even with people, like there's no mulligans. A lot of people do it. They do a breakfast ball, which is the first tee. You get 2
first
balls.
drive. Yeah.
And then sometimes you do a mulligan and 9. If
Don't
you're
like
like playing with like a
balls,
dude that like doesn't play a lot, you're like, let's just do a mulligan and 9, and like you do it. But golf is a very like honorable. Like you gotta tell the truth. You gotta enter your score in, and you know.
What's the best part of your game? Putting or driving?
I don't know. It's all like, I'm like fine at it, like it's all fine. There's nothing that's like unreal. And that's what they always say. Like, to be golf, you either need to be like decent at everything or like unreal at one thing.
Yeah.
Right? And like that's where a lot of stuff can be. Like I'm not shooting like the low 80s. Like it's not.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. I do. I'm not bad. Like, you know, you really just want to not be a problem.
Who do you think is the greatest golfer of all time? Is that Tiger?
No, I think. I think Tiger. They're just almost 2 different. It's like LeBron Jordan conversations. 2 different conversations. But Jack Nicklaus, you cannot not acknowledge what he did. That guy's got that did. He's got more second place majors than almost majors he's got. So I mean, he's one spot from maybe having 30 majors.
Yeah.
See, I would say Kim Jong-il is the greatest golfer of all time because
he shot an 18.
He shot an 18.
Like on 18 holes.
On 18 holes.
What?
I mean, that's according to him.
Trump's not good at golf, is it?
I think Trump's like supposedly like.
Why'd you hear that 40 and slip?
80s,
I go,
90s.
Trump's not good, is it? I don't even consider him
Yeah.
a beating living being.
Yeah.
I'm just like, is that thing?
Is that thing not
What does
good?
that thing do?
What's that thing doing?
Does it hit the ball?
Does it hit the ball? The Kim Jong Un, like I loved like the.
Yeah. So the story is like because when he played golf one time and his handlers were like, he shot an 18. Everyone's like, there's 18 holes. They're like, yeah.
He had like a bunch of hole in ones.
Yeah, they're like, it was
It's
all
not
hole in
like-
ones. And you're like,
It's like impossible.
yeah,
It
you're like,
is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way that happened.
No.
But, it's
But if
just-
everyone
The
questions
best
him,
shot
they-
ever
Yeah.
recorded in like a tournament is like a 50. Jim Furyk shot a 58.
Yeah.
And I mean, but like even in a video game, Tiger Woods game, you
There's
could
no
shoot-
way.
you could maybe shoot a 49 with like your
a couple cheat codes on.
Yeah, you got like cheat, like you're like
With
you're
souped up everything.
You're playing like the women's tees with like 100 Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
And then like you're playing a video game, so and you couldn't do what he did in real life, and he just said he did it. He's like, right?
Yeah,
And
shot an
everybody's
18.
like, yeah.
Yeah, so when Kim Jong Il died, everyone was like, "All right, the dictator's dead." But my favorite tweet was by a sports writer named Rick Riley, who goes,
Oh yeah.
"We are not acknowledging that the greatest golfer of all time died.
yeah, that's great.
He shot an 18."
Yeah, he's got a great book about golf where he caddied for a bunch of people. Rick Riley.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Like he caddied for Trump. He caddied for like man, who did like a lot of John Daly, like David Duvall, but then some celebrities and some like princes and just like talked about like what they were like playing.
John Daly might be in my dream foursome. Just because that guy would be the fun dude with stories.
to play golf with.
That
Yeah.
is true. That
Yeah.
John Daly's who you would want. That's the story.
The man said he lost like $120,000 in one sitting at a casino. So you're like,
Yeah.
all right.
He's the one that there's a
let's
30
hear
for
some
30
stories.
on, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
the bigger guy, right? That
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
real red in the face.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
He'll leave a tournament sometimes. Like he just gets mad and he'll do like a tin cup where he keeps throwing a ball down and then just hit them all in the water and then like leave a tournament. And it's so great because he's like see him like he's just smoking a cigarette, walking backwards, like just leaves, and it's like his girlfriend and her kid with him. Like that's like my favorite. Like it's never like his children. It's like that's my girl's kid. Like it's just such a funny like. It's like a perfect like that describes a person.
Yeah.
If you're like who lives in their house and he's like this girl he's dating and her son hangs out too. Like and there's a country club in New York called I'm in New York in Nashville where I grew up, Old Hickory Country Club, and the guy that just bought it owns Tootsie's, and Kid Rock is like there a lot now. Like
Nice.
Kid Rock, John Daly.
John
All right.
Daly would park his bus
Yeah.
in the parking lot and just sleep in his bus for like 4 days.
What?
I met him out there golfing. He's out there walking around. I talked to him for a second. I mean, when you talk to him, it's like everything you want. Like,
Yeah.
he just tells you like a brief, almost like if he just like someone telling you what his 30 for 30 is about, and he's like, "I'll tell you real fast what it's about." Like it's like that. It's like that conversation. He's just.
I'll summarize it in 5 minutes.
He's like, I've
Yeah.
lost about $100,000 in money. Like my
yeah.
back hurts. Like I've done stuff, whatever. And he walks away from me, and he was smoking a cigarette. He had basketball shorts on, cut off t-shirt, no shoes, socks, and smoked a cigarette, and just was walking around with a group of 8, like which is not you're supposed to do. And he's just he talked to me. He's like, all right, we'll see you at the bar. Like he's gonna go sit at the bar and drink, and that's what it is. And that's John Daly. And that dude was the story with him. He was sitting at a bar once. And during a major, and Tiger comes by and he's like, "Why don't you?" He's like, "Tiger, have a beer with me. Why don't you have?" And he's like, "I've got to go practice." And he's like, "What are you practicing all the time, man?" He's like, "Just have a drink with me." And Tiger was like, "If I had your talent, I wouldn't have to practice." Like Tiger said that to John Daly,
Which
like
was
being
a big kind of a
that's
fuck you.
It's like, well, it's a mix of that, but it's
Yeah,
also saying
it's
like
also
that's
an
how
insane compliment.
that's how
Yeah.
talented John Daly. John Daly is not trying.
Yeah.
And he's won 2 majors. And they're like, if you even somewhat just put effort into this,
Right.
you have the natural gift to be the greatest ever. But you don't want to. I always heard about Rasheed Wallace too. I heard Rasheed Wallace was like he could have been. He's already great, but then literally could have been the greatest that's ever.
I always wonder
Greatest
when
bald spot of all time.
Yeah, solid.
Rasheed
like,
Wallace.
I would
and
put that in
consider
the bald
him-
spot Hall of Fame.
Hilarious. I consider Rasheed Wallace one of the greatest basketball players, not ever, but like of his time.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like he was He won, championship with Detroit, ripped it up in Boston for a little bit, was dope on the Blazers, but guess what? Like, probably could have gotten a max deal and been the guy somewhere. He was always on a dope with a bunch of other guys, but he probably... Have we ever seen the blend of two worlds like that, where it is the best talent ever and the hard work? And as soon as I said that, you know who came to mind? Kobe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where you go, the work ethic matched with the God-given talent.
Yeah.
Because, like...
Jordan was like, I mean...
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he worked hard, right?
Oh, yeah.
Legendary.
Legend, yeah. I mean, Tiger was like that. They all worked hard. I think
Yeah.
it's everybody.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I think it'd be hard not to name one. I think that's the direction you should
name
go.
5 people.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep going.
Can you name 10 people? Is that like we're just going through this
Just
long
10
list.
people.
The greatest Babe Ruth would be like probably he didn't work
Yeah.
hard.
No,
He
he
didn't do
did, yeah.
I have no idea. If
Hot
he did
dogs
or
and
not.
beer.
Hot dogs, yeah.
You are doing something in your most recent special, the Tennessee Kid that
Streaming
is
now on
streaming
Netflix. Go watch it.
That I'm like amazed that this is kind of becoming a trend in comedy where comedians are now telling sequels to jokes.
Yeah.
Like
Has anybody
you-
else done it?
Like well, because I know like Gabriel did some like
Oh, really? Yeah.
did a sequel.
Okay, that's
and
one.
like I think
Yeah.
Jim Jeffries
One, name one.
did sequel.
All right, let's name who's not doing it. Like,
But it's just fascinating to me that
No,
because
very few.
now it's like it was always the thought that you put a joke up in the ether and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh no, now fans are loving this so much. I need to update them on this situation.
yeah. It's I started doing it like because of the story I told in the first special, the Cape Fear Serpent, and then that guy died.
Yeah.
And I was getting all these, and I knew he died. Someone emailed me when it first happened.
It's
and
the guy that
then-
runs the Gator Park.
The guy that runs the
Yeah.
and then how he how he died, like his wife shot him, like, and it was like an insane thing.
it's
So I
funny.
started like, and some people knew that story, so that's when people started coming out and they know
Yeah.
that story. And then I was like, well, it's such a crazy thing that I was like, I wanted to tell people, and then I did one on a special just so people quit emailing me that. Did
Right.
you hear he died?
And
So you're
we
like,
get
yes,
it.
I have heard.
Yes.
But that I mean, I would just get flooded with just like his, and his wife murdered him. So it was like such a crazy difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of a thing that you're like, well, then and people liked it so much that then you're acknowledging people like you. I think you're acknowledging something that they saw you do. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
almost like I know we all know why we're here.
Right.
And then
I'm great.
doing that. Yeah, I'm amazing, guys. I get it. All right? I get it. Like, and then, but I like did that, and then like the Starbucks thing that
Yeah.
I did with that happened too. And then when that happened again, it was I was able to make it such a funny thing. At first, I was like telling almost both stories completely, and then
Yeah.
just adding that stuff on. And then I knew when we were getting close to the special, I was like, for me to be able to do this, I can't do those jokes again. So I need to do them in a way that, that if someone hasn't seen it, they're going to get it.
Right.
And then a way that they're not going to get, like, I just can't be doing these exact same jokes. And,
Yeah.
and then I need it to be good again to close on it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Because you definitely can't just, like, you could maybe open with it, but you can't just have it in the middle. By the way, I forgot to tell you, like, it needs to be
Yeah.
a
Structurally
close.
appropriate.
And now I think your next special is gonna have to have a sequel to the Dog Bakery because they're like
So funny.
they're
Yeah.
tweeting stuff out like that their business has gone up exponentially
Yeah.
since you've done that joke.
Have they done like I saw like a story that's awesome. Like they're one of my buddy, the guy that opens for me, Brian Bates. Like he's from there too, and so I want him to go. Like he's just going there and like cause he'll go in there and just act like he doesn't know me, or just be like, so what's going on? I saw the Netflix special,
Yeah.
even though this guy's open for my special, like, and he's like, I haven't even heard of that guy. But yeah, it's very cool that like I didn't name the place. It's called Three Dog Bakery, and the reason I didn't name it is 'cause they kind of are like a franchise thing, and so I
You want them
just
to like sue you or something?
no, I almost like in the joke of the belief. I thought like if I name it in like in my head, I'm thinking I'm like naming Target.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's a bigger thing than I think.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, no, dude, that's a famous store. Like,
Okay.
so I liked it being like just because it's franchise. So these people started that in a small town.
Yeah.
So I liked that was the idea of like
Yeah.
it's a small town thing in this. But I knew like I knew that people starting to send pictures and stuff of going there, and it was it's
so
very
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's like they're sending you pictures of dog bakeries. I unfortunately did a joke about how people take the small urinal. So now I get people sending me pictures of urinals.
Oh yeah, that's
like
just in their urinal.
Yeah, like hey, look, I'm using your urinal. Like I don't want to see a picture of you pissing right now.
Yeah, that's all.
Can you not? Do you not know how to crop?
And I think that's inappropriate. I think you just sent me porn. I think you just sent me porn.
Your next special is just that, guys. No more urinal pics.
You probably could have just done 4 minutes of this. Why is it 59?
Yeah. So now, like, all I'm saying is like the next time is do a joke about like cocaine and titties or something.
Something like something that I want, something I really need. Well, the golf thing's been good. Because I mentioned golf. I've got a few emails of some it's great. Some are just like, you can play my local track, like some golf course that you're like, I could get on that course. It costs $8 to play that course. Like
I can do it.
Yeah, you're like, I'll be fine.
Yeah, and then, if you're like a groundskeeper at Augusta National, okay.
Yeah, I've had a couple guys, Valhalla, which is in Louisville, and they do a major there, and then there's another course in Nashville called Honors. It's a top 25 course.
That is.
And so I had a couple those guys I'm emailing to be like, yeah, I'll come down there. I'll do it.
This is a nice one.
Yeah, these are the real deal ones. So I'll definitely take advantage of that.
I think it's a known thing in the comedy world and in the world that you are one of the best storytellers, and I know that you have to have some understanding of that.
I started that rumor.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Well, that's why it's so popular.
That's why
it's going around. Do you have to? How much do you have to live? Like you said, a year and a half before this last special of kind of curating material, right? How much do you feel like you have to live, I guess, and how many stories do you need to accumulate before you feel like you have enough to maybe put something down on tape, or even just writing one story, because I'm sure you are having stories monthly, probably enough to fill an hour. But are you picking and choosing, being like, all right, and where do you workshop these other than the stage? Like maybe you come home from something and you tell your wife and your daughter, and you kind of use that as a gauge. I'm trying to get an idea of how you build, like the horse story, for example.
The funny is the horse story happened the weekend the stand-ups came out. It was right after that came out July 4th.
Yeah.
And so the next weekend I was at Tacoma Comedy Club.
Yeah.
And we went to Mount Rainier, and all that happened. And
that is just it's just so fucking good. And there's so many.
I got given that story. That's when you get a joke and it's done. And then that's 5 minutes long.
Right.
And you're like, dude, this is
it's done.
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything to it.
I don't have to do anything.
Just
and this
tell
is
a story.
A decent chunk. So I got very lucky with that one to come up. Because what's funny is I was with Brian Bates or something. We were driving back, and he always says, because the horse was laying down, and then we continued to talk about it, making jokes about it the whole trip. We do all the Mount Rainier stuff. We go back, and then I pointed at him because he didn't see it, and I was like, it's right here. And the horse was standing up, and he always says once he saw the horse standing up, he was like, well, the joke's over then. And then I was able to do it the way I was able to do it.
Yeah.
Where luckily my brain just kind of switched that way.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's hard. Right now I'm trapped in thinking yes, I do need all these stories. I need all this stuff to happen to me. And right now I'm having a very hard time having I don't have a great memory of always remembering stuff. And
right.
So I'll talk to my brother and sister, my family, kind of be I'll be like, is there anything that we remember? Funny things that happened? And I'll try to come up with some of these stories. Right now I just feel like there's a lot of pressure to get this new hour because I'm touring.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you put too much pressure on yourself, you can
miss out. You got blinders on.
Yeah, you're trying to force a joke that you can't do. Another one, I have Twitter on my phone right now, and I usually have it off because I had it because of the special, and I'm about to go off with it because sometimes Twitter, I've learned then your mind you start thinking jokes in far as they can be very topical because that's what you're reading all day.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And so then when I take Twitter off, it's that part of you goes away, and you're not even aware of news.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're a little more free to see something that happens and then make that some kind of story.
Yeah, there was so much in that. I mean, even the Mount Rainier stuff, and I've been there, and it was just all your stuff about climbing that mountain was so you just had so many beats and so many questions. I could feel you were just peeling back so many things about that whole scenario.
It all just it's I never break down a joke, sit down and be like, all right, here's the joke, and then I've never wrote sit down and wrote But I put it in my phone. I think about
What
it
did you put in your
and I
phone
sing it
after
instead.
that day? Like after that whole experience?
Dead horse alive.
Yeah, dead horse alive.
Because that stood out. That's like
Yeah.
at that point and the amount of discussion.
I wonder if I even have it. Like
It's like
it's
like, does your opener say to you like, "Well, this is a bit," or you just know after everything
no,
that's
you
happened?
know, like it's a thing. You kind
Yeah.
of talk about it like
In joke form.
as it's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, here 7. That's funny. I've never even looked at this. July 25th, 2017 is what I did. So I wrote, "Dead horse on the way to mountain. No way for a horse to lie down. They can't lie down like a dog. They just all have to go all in." Oh, that was the part where I was saying like if a horse, like when a horse lays down, it can't, like, a dog or a deer, it's a very natural, they can lay down easy.
Yeah.
But I imagine a horse just has to be like, "Here we go," like, and just like
Fuck
tips
it.
over.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like a drunk guy at a
yeah,
party.
Yeah.
It's like they can't like gracefully lay down.
No.
No.
Walking up to the 70-year-old ladies in there.
Yeah.
Some of it's like stuff that I'm not even in there. Mountain, I don't know, just like random things.
That's
but like,
awesome.
so it's like you just put like I put like that in there, and then it's like I go on stage and I just do it, and it continues to like get a little bit longer.
Do you like to write on stage?
Yeah, that's where I.
Yeah.
It's
So you get
solely on-
enough
Yeah.
of you get your when you like jar your memory for enough bullet points for stuff like that in your phone, and then you're like, this is going to be enough for me to remember, but also then to have some freshness to it when I talk about it on stage, so I'm not like scripting it out entirely,
That was
right?
something I learned. Like I always felt like Bill Burr and Patrice O'Neal, because I was in New York when they were like, coming. They were like obviously bigger, but they were not who they are
Right.
now. I mean, one was alive.
Yeah.
Patrice is dead, so they definitely was not at that point. But I remember them like being like about writing stuff word for word. It was like, you want to be conversational. You want to be able to like, then when you do like, if you ever do your jokes on the radio, I always kind of think of it like that. Like if you have to do a bit of yours on the radio, like you tell it way different than you would
Right.
sometimes on stage. So it's like trying to make those kind of blend together.
Yeah.
So I can tell a joke that's in a conversation and making it feel, just it's very smoothly, and it feels like you're just talking and they don't know, they can't tell that you're like, dude, I know where all this is going.
Yeah.
I know
Right.
how far I am to the next laugh
Yeah.
or the part that's going to make you laugh. I know way more into it than that person does, but it's about making it. I change little words, like little ands and these, and like just a little rhythm of it kind of changes almost every show. Just so you're saying it always a little different. You can still have some excitement when you
Yeah.
say it instead of like getting like
Yeah.
feeling like a robot up there.
Yeah, I like that way too. It's it's a easy way to make it fresh all the time for you, right?
Oh yeah, it's the best.
And if
it's
that's
the
not
way-
happening, then
yeah.
like, how are you? What's the
Yeah.
motivation to get up and do it?
Yeah, zero
Money.
money. What is it? The money helps.
On this tour coming up in September, is that going to be a tour bus tour for you?
No,
No?
that's it's going to be flying that town to that town. Maybe we have.
You're
to
so
rent a
old
car,
school.
Well, I don't have. They just don't have. They didn't line it up as
Yeah.
a tour bus. Maybe next year, like we would get to do like that kind of thing, and like I would love it. There's a lot of tour buses in Nashville. Nashville's a great city to be in because
It's the
to rent a tour bus, most of them go out of there because
Right.
of
Wow.
music.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a little bit like easier to rent one, and
Yeah.
I think it'd be very. I would love to do it. Like, I mean, it is getting very. It's getting very tiring, like going to these airports, and then when you do this kind of tour, I've done some of these dates now, like that I just did. Like you go to Milwaukee, and then you're just literally land, do show, next morning, fly to the Minnesota.
Yeah.
Get off, do the show, next day get up, go home.
Yeah.
And then like you're never seen a city. You're
Right.
never really having
No.
an hour.
There's something about being on the bus where you can wake up before you're getting there and kind of like soak in the preview before the presentation.
Like enjoy it and
Yeah.
like do it. Like it would be. I think it'd be fun to do a bus, and I think we
You'll do
like
it.
talked about it. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we'd like maybe eventually get to do that.
Fuck yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
NateBargatze.com.
Yeah.
And then you're about to go off Twitter, but
Hopefully take it off. I'll
Yeah.
still have it on. I have people that help do videos on my social media, so they always
Okay.
post stuff. But
What about the calculator app? You gonna keep that on?
I don't know. It's up in the air. My daughter gets on it quite a bit, and we're trying to get her off.
have you tired of the trick where you do? I think it's 8,085 and it says boobs.
Boobs. We
Yeah.
haven't done the boobs. She's 6 years old.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah, just like a great.
Just
like,
maybe. You can tell the
Yeah.
podcast is coming to a close
Yeah,
when the
Brad,
question.
yeah, I know. We're like, Brad, you're
Yeah,
never gonna meet my daughter, but
you gonna show your 6-year-old the boobs trick?
Yeah. Well, now you did it in that voice, so that's
Why?
yeah.
Why?
That's
What's
actually
wrong-
more inviting.
What's wrong with this voice?
You put a cigarette in my house, like on the ground. You're like, dude, that's carpet. Like,
hey, the world's an ashtray, baby. No, nobody says that. Not a catchphrase from anybody. Not even the Joker. Before we wrap up, do you? How has comedy changed? Like 6, obviously, like dope age, right?
Yeah.
I can only again attest from having nieces, but them being 9 is very cool. But at 6, they were even cooler.
Yeah, very cool. Like they're.
Do you want to be around home more like in this time? I mean, it seems like all the time.
It's a good amount.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gone just a good amount right now.
No, yes, you want to be home more, and you want. There is different stuff. I mean, like it's a hard thing too, because like sometimes you want them to miss you more than they might, but it's a good thing that they're not like just. She's got a lot of stuff going on. She's got a lot of friends. She's playing a lot. She's in school.
Dope.
Like I don't want her to be like, because at the beginning when I was leaving it could be brutal. She packed a bag once when she was 2, and that was like I almost quit comedy. Oof. Like I had a suitcase, and then she's like, "Well, I'll go and throw in like dolls in a suitcase," and she's like, "We're leaving. Me and Daddy are going on a trip."
Dude, I thought she was like pretending to run away because you were leaving.
No. She was trying to come with me.
Where the fuck is my brain going? I thought she was like, if you're leaving, if you leave, then I'm also leaving, but going the other direction.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's adorably
trying to come in, but then I have to tell her she can't.
Oh, man.
So like it is. And then she did run away. You got ahead of me. She did run away after that. And we didn't see her.
I just found out she was sick.
Yeah, until she was 6, she came back. And so we had 4 years where she was not there.
So when she said, "Are you famous?" that was a legitimate question.
Legitimate.
Like, she did not know.
How are things going?
I've been on Twitter.
I've been gone. I would love to catch up and see what. So, Dad, how are things going? I heard some stuff about Netflix, but
Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah, I always wonder that balance with like the work and dad life.
Yeah, you try to balance it.
You
like
seem
you
to
try
be crushing it.
Yeah, you try to do it, and like I like them being in Nashville. We have a lot of family there. FaceTime is a huge thing. It helps
is
a lot.
Yeah,
and like
game changer.
It's a I try to have her be very involved. I liked her doing my special.
That was
very
so
fun for us.
great.
Like she says it's our special and like very exciting. Like it's very like trying to have some kind of bonding. Like kind of it's a weird bonding, but it's like the bonding that you have to.
When she says it's our special, do you want to be like, hey, you did like 2 things that I wrote for you?
Nothing.
Yeah.
And I actually came up with it. Who do you think you are?
Yeah, the Tennessee kid. I'm a Tennessee kid, Dad.
I know. She's like, it's our special. Like, what are you? She got paid. Because they have to pay her.
Oh, like SAG or whatever?
amazing.
Yeah.
Does she have her card now?
Yeah, she's in she's got a union. She's got her own health care. I talked to her agent quite a bit.
She's got an audition for Blackish next week, I think. Right?
Yeah, she's doing real good stuff. Like, there like that's there is a comic that like their daughter was on Modern Family.
Oh, really?
Was she a like I don't remember if she's
I don't know.
someone's like there was something I don't remember. There's someone like one of those kids like their kid like blew up.
Oh,
and then the parents also trying and like, but just a kid like gets a show, and then you're like the kid's the most famous
Right,
thing
and
in the world.
now the kid gets to make decisions around the house.
Yeah, just decide to be like,
we
we go clean your room. Whose room?
Who pays this mortgage,
Yeah,
Dad?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. When you're under my house.
Yeah.
It's got to be the weirdest thing.
All right. Well, Tennessee Kid special. So good,
Yes.
dude. Man, you
Thank you.
fucking crushed it.
And
Go see Nate on tour.
get in
One
line.
of the best in the world.
Get the tour dates, and you'll have a brand new hour by then. No pressure.
Yeah, I know. By the fall, I'm hoping.
My mom is demanding it. I told
Yeah.
you.
I got
watch
your
special
mom coming
and
to Seattle. We got 3 shows now.
You had another one?
We had another one.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah.
At
It's like 80 seats.
net
But it's not that big.
speaking my language.
Yeah. Like,
His mom is saying it's the show.
it's at
at the
your mom's
Sanctuary.
house. Dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
we're
like,
doing it in your
it's-
living room. I'm doing it for your family.
She'll
You just
like-
have enough. You have a lot of family coming out.
She's like, it's the show you
And
have
your
to
mom
be at.
calls me and is like, would you do one more show? And I'm like, God, dude. Like, you gotta-
My friend
Adam's
Barb
got a
can
lot
come.
of family. Yeah.
Is that Neptune, I think, right? Or more?
Yeah,
No,
Neptune.
Neptune. That theater rules, dude.
Yeah.
I saw Blair Witch there in 2001.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when it was a movie
wow.
theater. Before
Yeah,
it was. That's why it's so iconic to me.
Yeah.
You're in Blair Witch territory.
Blair Witch territory. Doing as good as Blair Witch. It's like did real good for a moment, and then you don't really think about it anymore. But
Right.
like that's all I want. Like, I got a nice peak right now, and then like someone's dad's gonna be like, "No, I used to go watch that guy." Do that." Like,
It's really good back in the day.
yeah, he's good. He's good.
You're the man, Nate.
See you.
Thanks,
Thank
buddy.
you guys.
It's about last night.